when you're starting off business, it is a good idea just to look into the future, what that needs to look like, because that will set the pathway up of what decisions you say no to and what decisions you say yes to. Work smarter, not harder. That's what they say. Have you heard that saying before? Well, in today's episode, I do want to talk about the smarter, not harder effect. You also hear things like hustle, hustle hard. I've certainly talked about it in the past. I certainly like the concept of hustle, but at the same time too, and the flip side of that is hustle is just a lot of stress unnecessarily done. If you don't require it, why do it for? And that's what I want to talk about today's episode. I also want to talk about long-term growth as well. Welcome to today's episode. I'm Richard Taturgi. If this is your first time listening, welcome to the podcast. Who's Richard? Well, I started becoming a personal trainer. Well, I was a personal trainer at just before my 17th birthday, youngest personal trainer in Australia at the time, and quite fast after I purchased a studio at 17 and a half in Neutral Bay in Sydney. I borrowed some money off my parents. They actually didn't have the money. They had to take an equity over their home loan. And I said, I promise I'll pay it back to them. I then ran the business with a partner, and that partner didn't really work out. So I learned how to exit that partner, buy them out, run the business, and run it from a brand new area that I never had ever been in my life. And it taught me a lot of lessons around business growth. Now, I was in that business for a year and a half, about 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. And I actually sold the business for a little profit, and I paid my parents back, which I was, super proud of. And then I was able to get on to my next career that I wanted to do, my next part of the journey I wanted to do, which at that time was working on cruise ships. And I say that to you because in today's episode, I wanted to talk about longevity, the difference between working smarter, not harder. Now, at our recent immersive, we actually celebrated Marketing's 10-year anniversary. Well, thank you so much. And it was a bit of a milestone because there's been so many different versions of Marketing. When I say different versions, different ways that we'd work, different products that would sell, different ways that would educate, how we'd do that. And so it's taken time to evolve. However, I also think that's the journey too. So a lot of, I always think, we've got to wait till get to here to make that, get some more, years up our sleeve and so forth. But it really comes down to, what you want your business to look like in the first year and the 10-year and what that is in between. Now, it's very hard to know exactly what the outcome of the business is going to be when you go into it. Now, you may go into a business and just go into it because that just rolled up and it just turned on your lap and someone said, hey, can I train? And then that turned into where you are at the moment. And you've never really thought about, okay, well, how long am I going to be here for? And what does it mean and so forth? And will it be a 6 months? Will it be a 10-year? Will it be the thing I do my whole life? And rightfully so. You can, you're going to be in doing something your whole life. It just depends on what that's going to be. Now, for our journey, 10 years, we started, our company was called Complete Online Marketing. We focused on all agency work because I had at the time another business called Meet Your Personal Trainer. So this Meet Your Personal Trainer, sorry, I'm saying that too fast. So this business was about helping our trainers with their marketing. So if they didn't want to do things like Facebook ads or build websites, we could do that for them. I built up a team that could actually build websites and a project manager, and off we went. And that was the sort of the first stages of that. The second stage was more of the education stage that we do now, which is educating fitness professionals. And then we went to educating all types of businesses. And now we back at educating fitness and wellness professionals and business owners. And so when we look at business growth and business longevity, there's a couple of things that I've always thought about, which may help you. As we progress into a new world with so much advice out there, sometimes not good to have so much advice from different people you don't actually know. You'll just see their socials. You say, that's what I should do, which is definitely not something you should do. You want to have an understanding of what you need and what you want out of the business. And I always say, and I think I've got this from, I heard this on an Andy Frisella podcast, and it was really great analogy of this, is that if you start in your business in, like, let's say today, and let's say 2022, you start your business today. And in 10 years' time, let's say, it's going to be 2032, right? Well, along that journey of the 10 years, you're going to have different people that come and go in businesses. So we're talking about competitors. We're talking about other fitness professionals that are around you. And you may think, oh my gosh, there's a new kid that came on the block. Oh my gosh, there's a new studio that popped up. I think when you see these things, you look at the longness of what you've got ahead of you. And the analogy is this, is that if I start my business day 2022, and then someone comes in 2 years' time, guess what? They don't have the 2 years that I have, right? So they're starting then, and their 10 years starts at that point. If someone comes in 4 years, their 10 years starts at that point. So it doesn't mean that just because someone's starting the business, let's say at this point, they're coming into a 0 years, right? And they've got to learn and get partnerships, get lessons learned, understand certain ways to run their business, best retention strategies. Yes, they can speed things up by learning and educating themselves 100%. But at the same time too, time does have a huge competitive advantage on anything that, any other form of marketing is time, because time gets you to where you need to get to, because we overestimate what we can do. I certainly do. We overestimate what we can do in a short period of time. We underestimate what we can do like in a decade, long term. And so it kind of gets you thinking, going, wow, what does 10 years look like for me? So you're just new to business. You might just write that date down when you started, 10 years. What does it look like to you? And then start dreaming, start thinking about what that needs to look like. What does it want to look like? And if it scares the hell out of you, think, oh my God, 10 years, I don't think I'm going to be here. I'm going to be somewhere else. Well, start looking that as a reality. And it's what we call dreaming. It's what we call planning. And if you don't do that enough, I think over the period, you do go down in paths you don't want to. I've certainly gone down in paths that I didn't want to because I didn't dream enough. And I took the business down the path that other people, wanted to me at the time, both from business partners and also from clients too. You just hear things, or you get recommended something, you think, oh, that's the right way to go. But you forget what you went in business for, what you want to do. So when you're starting off business, it is a good idea just to look into the future, what that needs to look like, because that will set the pathway up of what decisions you say no to and what decisions you say yes to. Early on the piece, yes, a lot of people say you've got to take the opportunities, you've got to take the opportunities. However, I just don't think you don't have to take all those opportunities. I think you take the opportunities that work for your game plan and where you want to get to. I took a lot of opportunities. I said yes to a lot of things. And yes, that is a great way to learn. However, if you're really clear on the path you want to go down, I think you can just focus all your theme and your activities going down that path. If you're not clear on where you want to get to, well, yes, you've got to take opportunities upon opportunities and say yes to more people you say no to. And so, if I could flip it, I don't think there's any one better way, because I actually think you're going to learn the lesson that you need to learn at the time. Even if you say, I'm focused on this direction, I'm not getting off, you will learn the lesson that you'll need to learn to get you in the right track and the right trajectory. Remember, if you don't love what you do, it's not going to work. Okay. You've heard it time and time before about, it's not just about money, it's about doing what you love. And that is so true, because in the bad times in your business, if you don't have that anticipation of the business, if you don't have, why you're really here for, this is when competitors, this is when other people popping in the market at the same time will rattle you, will get you off track. So right now, I'd love to know, think about how long you've been in business for and where you want to get to. But knowing that you're only in you're only you're only ever in your silo. You're not like, you may think there's competitors out there. You may think there's a studio out there, a fitness studio, and I'm not going to keep up with them, but it's all rubbish. You don't have to keep up with anybody except yourself, because at the end of the day, if somebody's here in 2022, I highly doubt they'll be there in 2032. I highly doubt that. And I can count on one hand, one, maybe two, one hand, probably, anybody who's with my business right now, that is going to be there in 10 years. Okay. So think about that. There's going to be a few people with you on that journey long term. And so I always go back to the most important thing. The most important person on your journey is yourself, your family, the people around you, because that, hopefully they're going to be there in 10 years. And then other people will come and go. That's clients, that's team, that's other businesses around you. So they don't really matter, because you're not living your life. You're not living their life. It's just, we're only living these things on social media. We're only living these things because, we're putting ourselves out there to see those things, and rightfully so. We're seeing them on social. Someone's talking about them, but ultimately it does come down to what you want your next 10 years to look like. And I say this, just celebrating our 10-year birthday, as mentioned, for our business. We had a cake. It was great. We had clients that was able to celebrate that with us there. But I also looked back and I go, wow, there's been so many different amazing people in the 10 years, mentors, business partners, clients, teams over the 10 years that have made marketing to what it is today. And I thank everybody out there for that. If you're listening out there, I really do thank you, because it's a lesson that you learn. It's a process you go through. It's success that you have at that time. And that makes a person, that makes a company. And it's an amazing effect when you can put that and go, yes, we've done that. We did that. And we impacted the people that we need to impact. So if you're a new business operator, I would definitely start to look at long-term, 10 years, not 10 months. If you've been in business for 7 years, I'd like to look back, or 10 years or 15, look back at what you've achieved and who you've achieved it with. And then, readjust the path of where you want to get to next. I think time is one of the most amazing marketing assets you can have. It's probably the number one when you look at anything out there. Yes, you can have fast growth in a company, but ultimately fast growth is never a success, never a guaranteed formula for any success. What comes up must come down pretty much the same way. And so we want to build success up the way that we need the growth to happen. And just think about that. Think about any crash. So when you are looking at someone else possibly too much, just focus on your path for 10 years and where you want to end up in those 10 years. And you got to dream to get to that point, and then you got to work the plan to get to that point. So happy birthday for anybody who's celebrated a birthday in their business. Congratulations. It's a huge milestone, and you should be super excited for what you've achieved and done, and who you've helped in your communities and what you do every single day. Thanks, team. Food for thought. Hope that sits with you really well, and I'll catch you next episode on the Marketing Muscle Up podcast show. Team, if you do need any help and you want to take this step next further, we've got a free Facebook group. It's called Crush Your Fitness Marketing. Go to Facebook and search Crush Your Fitness Marketing, and you better find that and get resources, videos on the next steps to immerse yourself in your growth. Bye for now.